Okay, so let's learn. Now, actually, we are learning SAFe now with configurations. So some of you, I believe, already have an understanding, watched the videos, read the website and all. So see, the essential or the initial smallest component of SAFe is small agile team again. Yeah. So SAFe is not saying that form different type of agile team. SAFe is there to integrate your Scrum and Kanban team. That's Srinivas point. I said no waterfall team, please, but Scrum and Kanban team. So there are small 8-9 people teams. You have a Scrum Master, or you may call that guy team coach, and you have a product owner. So for a simplicity sake, I have multiple Scrum teams. I'm just using a Scrum team as an example. There could be a few Kanban teams also. Now, somebody will say, yeah, in my company, we have a 20 Scrum teams. Like Srinivas will say, I have a 20 Scrum teams. Now, you don't necessarily have to make SAFe with them. If one team is delivering a solution to one customer, another team is delivering solution to another customer, then why I need to unnecessarily bind these two teams together? Yeah. So they can continue working as a Scrum teams only. We may have some community of practice to promote lesson learns and other things, but we may not need to bring SAFe. Now, what is SAFe, or when should we bring a SAFe, or a basic part of SAFe, we call it essential, when you want to group these teams together. Now, what is the meaning of group? So, which means you want to give them a common backlog. In our SAFe language, we call it ART backlog. And now we call it ART backlog. The old word was program backlog, because sometime our videos will keep talking about program backlog. That's the name difference. So we give a common backlog, and these all people should work together and integrate and release a common product. Yeah. So there could be 2 products, 3 products also, but basic understanding is that the SAFe is needed when I want to apply multiple agile team, like 5 to 12 agile team, or you can say up to 125 people together, and I want to form something called agile release train. Now, who are the people, what are the role, etc., etc. Lesson 3 is all about that. But the essential, you don't have SAFe till the time you don't have agile release train. Yeah. So now we have a process of working on agile release train, like a PI planning, etc., etc. That is the other thing. But once you form an agile release train and you have a mechanism of joint planning, joint problem solving, collaboration, dependency management, integration, and releasing the product, you can say we are following essential SAFe. Now, what does it mean? You can say, I don't want to have anything other than this. I just want to have a mechanism to make my multiple agile team integrate together, prioritize together, plan together, and release together. The SAFe will say, okay, I will give you things like roles. I will give you things like artifacts, like ART backlog, features, etc., etc. I will give you things like events. I will give you some guidelines, yeah? And this will help you in integrating your multiple agile teams. Yeah? That is your essential SAFe. Yeah. So this is the criteria here is this one group may have up to 125 people. So 125 people, 5 to 12 agile teams working together and releasing things. We just call them essential SAFe. Which is needed anyway. Now, assuming you have a situation where you want to make 400 people work together rather than only 125, how do you handle that? So, in our agile way of working, when you need more than one Scrum team, you create another Scrum team and you integrate those Scrum teams. Similarly, when you need more than one agile release train, you create another agile release train and integrate them. Yeah. So say, in your company, you can have a many agile release train. But if all the agile release trains are independently taking care of their ART backlog and delivering it, you will call them essential SAFe only. But if you want to have an integration group, you want to add some more roles who are there to integrate. You may want to add some more artifacts which are common for multiple agile release trains. Yeah? And you may want to have a common release for all the agile release train. Then you need to have another type of layer added, or another type of configuration added. Layer means additional role, additional meetings, additional artifacts. And that type of configuration is only needed when you have a more than 125 people work need to be integrated and released together, and we call it large solution. Now, what is large solution? In a way, large solution is a collection of agile teams, agile release trains. So you will have a solution level backlog, and this backlog will go to ART, and ART will take care of it. Some part will go to another ART, and another ART will take care of it. Then the work of multiple ARTs will get integrated and released. So this thing will remain the execution body, the agile release train will remain the execution body. But in case you have a large solution problem, then you want to create a common source, common integration, common demo for multiple agile release train work. And in order to create that common group, you may have a common roles and common processes also established. If you do so, then you will say my safe configuration is a large solution configuration. Any question in these two things? Essential configuration, large solution. Now, what does it mean? If I go to next slide, essential, large includes essential. So it means you have multiple agile release trains. On top of it, the large is there. So large is building on essentials. Essential is your core building block. If anyone has a query here, we can resolve before I go to a little more complication. So we can say we have an essential and we learn about large solution.
So I have a question.
Please.
So the roles, the artifacts, everything is same in the large solution too? Additional. Okay.
So in a simple word, you can say I will have ART roles. So I have 3 ARTs. So 3 agile release train roles will be there.
Okay.
I may have a steering committee group, which is the integration of these 3 in a way. So I will have few additional roles who are responsible for giving them integrated requirement, who are responsible for doing integration testing, who are responsible for having integrated prioritization. So some additional role, additional group get added on top of agile release trains who are responsible for integration.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, anyone?
So how many agile release train can run a large solution hold?
So they have not given that number yet. Yeah. So they have not identified it. But yeah, fairly usually again you can say is one team is 125. I hope they will put some time and limit number there, but they have not given any number. In my experience, I have seen large solutions still going 7 trains also. So it depends upon the complexity. But from a framework perspective, they have not identified a number.
And any specific tools that we have for handling these things?
Yeah. So nowadays, most of your product management tool supports safe way of working. Most, and our pioneer, the Jira supports it. So they have a safe or a scaling version of Jira. They call it Jira Align, which takes care of most of the safe. Whatever we will learn in the class is part of Jira Align version of Jira. And then other products also takes care of it.
Can you come again on Jira Align?
Align, ALI, Align. Okay. We'll share the link sometime in the initials. Yeah. Good. So you have agile teams, agile release trains, and then large solution. Now, what is missing here is we don't care from where the requirements are coming. We expect that to be managed from outside safe. Someone should ensure that right requirements are given, be it here, even if large solution, or be it a direct ART. In both the case, the life or a safe implementation is starting where you have a backlog and we say, okay, we'll take care of an execution onwards. But behind the scene of a backlog, the safe is not there in these configurations. Now, if you want to make sure that there has to be a continuous alignment on the requirement, and your PMO group, your portfolio group, should also use safe. So here what we are assuming is you may have a portfolio PMO group. They might have waterfall projects also. They might have agile projects also. Since they want to take care of everything, their PMO is traditional. And inside it, they are running few agile release trains. But if your PMO is completely agile, assuming that everybody on this particular group, say there are 1,000 people in that particular group, I'm not talking about full organization, a group, and 1,000 people group now, all 1,000, we have a 10 agile release train. So everybody's working in the release train mode. Then you may think, why don't I bring my PMO portfolio group also in the safe way? And in a safe terminology, we have a layer, we call it portfolio. So safe has a role, artifacts, mechanics of handling portfolio work. Now what is portfolio work? Identify right initiative, means like our project. Yeah. So we don't use the word project, but you can say identifying what should we work on. We call it something else, business ethics, but that's the one work. Ensuring the profitability, ensuring alignment with org strategy, that whatever these guys are doing should be alignment with what we want to achieve, and doing some amount of governance that, okay, guys, if you are not doing good, better we change something here. So this all is done by the portfolio. So SAFE can have some kind of group, we call it lean portfolio management group, which is responsible for taking care of, say, 20 agile release train, the trains or the group which is part of that LPM. So we can create one LPM group which is responsible for multiple agile release trains, business alignment. They are not responsible for integration, they are not responsible for testing, they are not responsible for execution related work. They are responsible for ensuring that whatever these agile release trains are doing, they are as per our business targets. So we can form this LPM group. One of the things they will do is they will connect the program these ART backlogs. So things which are going in the ART backlogs are the ones which are approved by them. So they work as a controlling and governance body. They also ensure that they keep evaluating the ROI coming from these results, and based on that they adjust their money allocation and the work for different agile release trains. So when we have this thing in our SAFE, then we can say we have a portfolio. Now portfolio can become in a two format. One is these two only, you don't need it, assuming agile release trains are independently able to do it. Then we call it portfolio configuration. But in case you need all three in your implementation, then we call it full configuration. So I go to my next slide and try to explain it. I know it's a little confusing. So here are the four configurations of SAFE. Essential is just essential. Large solution is some groups are integrating. So I may have a 10 agile release train, but 3 agile release trains are jointly delivering together. So I have formed a large group for them. That's a large solution. Portfolio, without large group, my 10 agile release train required strategic alignment and business alignment. I formed a portfolio group, and that is taking care of multiple agile release trains. I call it portfolio configuration. The full configuration means I have a 10 agile release trains, 7 are independent, 3 are interdependent, so we have a large solution for those 3. And on top of it, we have a portfolio who takes care of all the 10 agile release train, business priorities and money allocation. And that makes our full configuration. 90% of the time, when people say we are using SAFE, they are using Essential. Yeah. And the whole story which I spoke about business agility and all, then that only becomes relevant when we have a portfolio layer added to it, which is usually a very later thing which happens in the SAFE implementation. So though we will talk about it, we will show the whole big picture, but major focus for us is Essential only. Any question, comment on this?
So when we have, you were telling about the large solution, difference between large solution and portfolio, right? So you said that even without large solution, we can have a portfolio and essential. In portfolio without a large also we can have it, right?
Yes.
So does it mean that even if we have 10 ARTs without large solution, if we have an even though if it is integrated, we can have portfolio and essential?
Yes, that's the meaning. Now let me clarify what is large solution. So large solution is basically, whenever it comes, it is always an optional thing. It is only needed till the time you have a situation where multiple agile teams are expected to have a common requirement, common code integration, common testing, common prioritization, common meetings. After that solution got delivered, now release trains becomes independent, we dissolve the large solution. So large solution is an execution oriented only. The value of a large solution is how do I create common priority for multiple agile teams or agile trains, say 3 agile trains, which are under big thing. How do we ensure the 3 trained work is well integrated for the demo? How do we ensure that we have a common flow, common architecture for these 3 agile release trains? Because our customer is same. How do we ensure that if defect comes, we can find out which part of the area is having defect so we can allocate to the right person? That is the value of a large solution. Now, assuming if the product is not that big, you don't need a large solution.
Okay. If they're independent, we don't need it, right?
We don't need it. That's it. Now, what is portfolio? The idea of portfolio is more strategy oriented rather than execution oriented. So, which means they are not there for doing integration testing. They are not there for doing your feature prioritization or requirement prioritization. They are not there to facilitate multiple team integration. That job is not there. Be it without large or with large, that job is not there. So what is their job? They will keep looking at new ideas coming from management and decide which new, I use the word epic, but in a general word you can call it project to start with. Yeah, what new initiative we should invest in? Oh, what should we do? Should we do app? Should we do website? Oh, app, this website, we are working on it, but I think we have invested enough. Let's stop this. Oh, this agile release train is doing this, but I think we have a better value to do. Better they stop this working. That kind of decisions, stopping the work, starting the new work, or saying, guys, this agile release train working on this epic, I think we need to make 50% train working something else. They can continue 50% here. So improving the budget, reducing the budget for a given initiative, and ensuring that we are having right value of our work is a job of LPM. So their job is more strategic. Now, if I am only looking at agile teams, agile release train, then I do at a train level. Inside it, I may have a large solution also, but my role more or less the same. I am focusing on maybe a release train to do something or a large solution to do something, and we are basically giving the upstream work to them, right requirement, and evaluating the result of value of their work rather than code integration of their work. Okay, anything else, anyone?
And after portfolio, would you please move to the full also, like how the portfolio and large are coming together in full?
Now it's a little technical. Yeah, it's a technical. So what does it they call it? They have two names. They portfolio is a layer which is common in both, but they have two names. So how do we differentiate that portfolio only having agile release trains and portfolio having large solution and agile release trains? We have two problems. So in order to differentiate that, when the portfolio have agile release train and large solution, we call it full. And when the portfolio just have an agile release train, we call it portfolio. That's the technical name. I know it's a little bit confusing, but yeah, that's how it is. And the lean portfolio management is like a group who is a owner and a main executor of a portfolio. So the group, you can call it your PMO group, portfolio group. That's the word we use. So we can say that the lean portfolio management ensures the overall integration. We'll learn about it a little bit more in about lesson 5. Yeah, so lean portfolio management is our LPM. We went little detail, yeah, but it's more about having the configuration understanding. Now somebody will say, I got whatever you are saying, but there has to someone who will give us money. The portfolio is always there. How do you just can say that we are having only essential and that portfolio is not there? Here also someone has to approve money. Here also someone has to evaluate the ROI, etc., etc. What do you mean? It's always there. So my answer is yes, it is always there. But whatever that body is, they are not using safe practices here. And whenever that body who is giving you money start using safe practices, we will call them here. Yeah? So it's like you may have your traditional PMO, you may have your traditional portfolio, because they don't want to change their budgeting practices right now. And they are only saying, guys, the way we evaluate initiative will keep doing it. We will not have a lean portfolio manager, we will have a traditional portfolio manager only. Yeah? But we will give you the budget and you do execution in safe. Then we are saying we are doing essential. But when the body who is doing money allocation and governance, and they also start using agile and safe practices, we will say, we are getting into a portfolio configuration. So that's how the safe configurations are different. Now somebody will say, why portfolio should not use safe? They should use it from the beginning. So usually what happens is, now that's the Srinivas point, if you have say 10,000, say 1,000 people in your company, organization will say, guys, just try safe with 200 people. Let's not disturb others. Let's keep running waterfall for others. Let's keep running Scrum for others. Let's keep running Kanban for others. So, but I am the one group who needs to take care of 1,000 people. I need to take care of Kanban projects also, traditional projects also, and safe projects also. Then I will say, I will have my own traditional product management practices, portfolio management practices. These safe guys, we will give them what they need, but for remaining people, we do our remaining different type of meetings. That's why initially we don't touch them. We can say, okay, you continue doing that. Maybe after seeing the result of these 200 peoples, over a period of time, we realize, let's gradually bring all the 1,000 people in safe. So assuming after 1 year, now all 1,000 people are running agile release train. Then we will realize that since everybody is running agile release train, and I'm a portfolio manager and I'm taking care of 10 trains, then why don't I also start change my practice so that I can align well with this agile release train? So then I will go into portfolio. I will start changing my portfolio management practices. What are those practices? How frequently we review budget? How do we approve initiatives? What kind of KPIs we measure? What kind of meetings we run? So we change all those things as per safe so that we have a better integration. So that's how the word portfolio comes in. And last solution is optional. It comes and goes whenever needed. Good. Hopefully with the help of this configuration, you also got some idea of safe, because before that it was looking like just a theory and slides and nothing more than that. But hopefully with this, you got a feeling of what is safe. So these are the safe configurations, and we will touch upon it. We are at a super high level. We will see the details of roles, details of execution. That's the plan, and yeah, that's what we'll do. Now again, little bit of quote. These guys like too many quotes here, but more or less, the whole idea here is the safe is leadership focused. It's management focused. So we are saying that guys, whoever is leaders and managers, they are expected to play a critical role in defining the frameworks and executing the framework. So it is not like they are just providing support and someone else is executing. Management should drive it. And that's why the leading safe is a program name, and saying, all the managers should understand and follow it. We will see in the lesson 2 in more details how possibly managers are expected to understand the framework. So these codes are not safes. They keep bringing it from here and there. Sometime you may want to read it in your digital workbook. If you have any follow-up query, we can talk in our upcoming classes. Most of the links you can find it here, and gradually you will play with them, scaledagileplaybook.com. But from exam perspective, you don't have to go anywhere. The digital workbook is good enough, and the practice test is good enough. You don't have to go through these links in order to get ready for the exam. So that's the finishing of lesson 1. We are heading for 10 minutes break. And once we come back, we will start with our lesson 2. We may do a quick reflection once we come back, and then think about your questions during the break. And then we start with your questions once we start the class. Okay, so I will put a timer which will run for 10 minutes. And once the timer gets over, our break gets over.
Saket, just a quick one.
Please.
Not the safe part. I'm facing some issues on my laptop, so I'm kind of